Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with another episode of Ask Nathan. You're watching TFL Now, and this is what we do behind the scenes, and in this particular case, questions that you guys have that I get to answer. Now, I'm going to be reading them off my phone this time, and the reason why is because, frankly, a lot of you have been asking to have your names included and your actual questions because I've been paraphrasing. So we're going to give that a try. And by the way, for those of you who are making fun of my phone, saying it was a girly color, this is actually Gulf Blue, very similar to the Gulf Blue used at Le Mans. So yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. Hey Nathan, I have a problem. I currently live in Louisiana, and you probably read on the news that we've recently been flooded here in the South. Unfortunately, one of the casualties was my 2000 Ford Excursion V10. I'm sorry, man. He wants to replace it. I am going to cut this down because it's 3 paragraphs long. I need to replace it with a truck or SUV in between $5,000 and $7,000. As I'm sure you know, it's slim pickings to get a truck or SUV that doesn't have over 200,000 miles on it for that price. What is your suggestion of a vehicle, be it high mileage or not, that might do the towing? That is a difficult one because the Excursion is one of the best SUVs when it comes to heavy-duty towing, especially if you had the diesel. Now, there are a couple things. Oh, by the way, this comes from Sterling Wayne Albritton Jr. Sorry if I got your name wrong. All right. One of the problems is that there are no vehicles right now that exist that can tow quite as good as the old Excursions could. With that being said, you can find some deals on V10 heavy-duty older Ford trucks. You have to look outside of your state because in your state and southern states, the prices and the mileage are way, way up. Look north. Try to find on Craigslist or other, even eBay, look around and see what you can find just outside of your state. Fortunately, you don't live in a giant state. You can easily go over the lines. Yes, you'll have to pay a fee for getting a vehicle from outside the state, but it's highly recommended. I can't recommend any other vehicle other than a big heavy-duty Ford with a V10 or a big diesel. Okay, so try to look outside your state. Maybe you'll get lucky. Okay, next question. This is from Ethan Struberg. Can you guys get simpler last names? It'd be great. Sorry, Ethan. Okay, if you were going to buy a Mustang GT, would you get the Stage 1, Stage 2, or Stage 3 Roush Performance Package, if any? Okay, in terms of performance packages, there are a lot out there. Saline builds them. Several companies build them. I'm not a big person for that. If I'm going to buy a brand new Mustang, I'm going to keep it stock and see what I can get through Ford Motor Performance. But if I were to get a performance enhanced kit, I'd start with 1 and see if that's what I want. If you go straight to 3, if you spend $5,000, $10,000 to put in a blower and everything else, well, first of all, you may be going over the level to where the car is no longer drivable because it's just had too much performance in one spot and not enough in another spot. So I highly recommend start small, work your way up. Okay, next question from Keith Andrews. Awesome name, Keith. Okay, this is an interesting one. More enjoyable and livable as a daily driver car, the 2017 Camaro SS or the Challenger SRT 392? And you say not including hauling kids. I would still recommend the Challenger because, frankly speaking, in terms of a daily ride, in terms of ride comfort, and in terms of space, you can't beat it. Very simple answer. Thanks, Keith. Next one. This comes from Lewis Ingram. Hi, Nathan. Love all that you guys do. Roman is awesome. I just added that in there just for the hell of it. Just wondering what car or truck you guys would get in the States that we get here in the UK or Europe. In other words, what European vehicles would we want here in the United States? And there is a massive list. And on the flip side, I'd love to see some of the vehicles shipped over to the UK, such as Lincoln Continental or the Honda Ridgeline. Interesting. By the way, we were currently working on Honda Ridgeline videos. There's going to be a ton of them. So, bottom line, I like French cars. I don't know why, I just do. It'd be cool to get a Peugeot over here and some other stuff that just nobody's ever seen. I think Rome would really like to get a Skoda over here. And Andre, a Yak. Okay, and in terms of vehicles sent over there, you're absolutely right. Muscle cars in Europe are a great combination. So I'd love to send over some of these things and see what you guys think. Just driving through the streets of Europe, I think it would be hysterical driving 707 horsepower on cobblestone roads. Okay, so thank you so much, and this is from Lewis, just outside of London. Thanks, Lewis. All right, next one from Aaron Miller. I am planning on buying a 2003 or 2002 Jeep Wrangler TJ Rubicon with a 4-liter straight 6 and an automatic transmission. Interesting, we just recently sold something just like that. If you had to use 3 negative things about the car to persuade me to not get it, what would it be? Oh, not the bad fuel economy or the transmission, which would have been 2 of the ones I would have mentioned. Neither of those things are a big deal to me, thanks. And it's from Mountain Dude, or Aaron Miller. Thanks, Aaron. You know what? I don't have a lot of negative things to say about the vehicle. That straight 6 is a fantastic engine. It is bulletproof, but it could use a little bit more torque. More modern engines do tend to have a little bit more torque and are more efficient. I know you didn't want to talk about gas mileage. And the final thing about those vehicles as opposed to some of the newer ones is overall size. Do you want a little bit more space inside? The newer ones have more space. I can't really give you any other negatives. I have a feeling you don't want to actually hear the negatives. I think you want to hear the positives. Bottom line is it's a really good Jeep to get because components are very inexpensive for it. All right, next question. Nathan, which is better in terms of practicality, the Jeep Cherokee or Dodge Charger all-wheel drive? Okay, the reason sometimes questions come through where I just look at it and go, what? And this is one of those whats, because, wow, you're asking about an SUV with a hatchback versus a big sedan with a trunk. The SUV, of course, I mean, hatchback, it just makes sense. If you wanted to hear which one is the better buy, I can't tell you. If you wanted to hear which one is better off-road, yeah, I think the Jeep is pretty good off-road. And which one's better on-road? Yeah, you'd be well served by the Charger. All right? Okay, and the final one. Which is your favorite movie or TV car? Now, eventually we're going to do a special on that, but I can tell you it's a very simple answer. The 1977 Lotus Esprit, the one that was used in The Spy Who Loved Me, the submarine Lotus. Ever since I was a kid, that freaked me out. It blew my mind. But for those of you who are younger and may not have seen it, there is a movie called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. The vehicle in that movie blew my mind when I was a little kid. And here's the awesome part about this, not just cool. Ian Fleming, the guy who wrote The Spy Who Loved Me, also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's right. So they sort of both deal with the same guy and the same cool gizmos and gadgetry. But yeah, the Lotus Esprit from 1977, when I saw that movie, freaked me out. Best movie car ever. If you guys have other movie cars that you like or any other questions, please write them below. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next week. How long do we spend on videos versus how long did we used to spend on videos? It's a very good question. We used to do videos that lasted anywhere between 15 minutes to even 30 minutes on a vehicle. Now we still do that from time to time, but that tends to be the truck channel, or like for the Ike Gauntlet, which is a very involved shoot that has many cameras and many working components, and it's a lot of logistics. Other vehicles sometimes will dedicate 5 or 6 minutes.